YouTube? This is just going to be super quick, super casual, just kind of wrap up of my prep, kind of where I'm going from here, and just kind of like the wrap up of this bikini prep series. I am sitting here sipping some coffee out of my favorite coffee cup. This thing is huge. And I just got back from cardio, so excuse the sweaty red face. But I just kind of wanted to hop on here because I kept saying I was going to do a review of my prep and just kind of give you a full overview of how I think things went. And since it was my first prep, everything was new to me and kind of where I see myself going from here. So let's get started. So I started prep in January of this year, so January 2017, and I prepped up until about 2 weeks ago, and it is now July, almost August 2017. So I prepped for 8 months, a little over 8 months. And honestly, like, a lot of people think that if you don't feel like crap, you're not doing prep right, and I just honestly think that is like not the mindset to have. I felt great. Yes, there were days where I was tired. Yes, there were days where I didn't have the energy. There were days I was hungry, but like, let's be real. You have that when you're eating any certain amount of food. You have off days. You have days where you feel like you can eat the world. You have days where you're not hungry. Like, those feels are just gonna happen regardless. So I honestly felt great. I could probably still keep going, but I know for my metabolism and just things I found out throughout prep, which I will kind of go down that road, I know it's time for me to take a break, get my body healthy, get in tune with my body again, get everything functioning correctly so I can really hit it hard this improvement season and come back even better next year. So kind of going down the line, I started in January. I did my first show in May. It was an NGA show. It was very small, but it was a great experience. And that's what I wanted. I wanted a smaller show to start, just kind of get my feet wet, get on stage, and just kind of see if this was something that I wanted to continue doing. I loved the process of prep. I loved the grind. I loved having a set goal. I loved just seeing my body transform and push through those mental obstacles and those mental walls that got put up, and just physical and mental. And honestly, I think prep is 80% mental and 20% physical. Like, anyone can go in there, bust through a workout, but those mental walls that get put up, or those mental battles you have and you deal with day in and day out that not everybody talks about, I think those are the real accomplishments that you push through when you finally get on stage. So I did my first show. It was amazing. I did bikini debut, I did bikini novice, and I did bikini open. I took first in debut, first in novice, and I took second in open. So I was on cloud 9. It was the most amazing day, best day ever. My family and friends were there. I shared it with everyone I loved. Paul, my coach, was amazing. He was amazing through the whole process. And I honestly had never seen my body look like that. So I literally got off stage and I was like, that was so awesome. When do I get to do it again? And I already had my sights set on another show, so I took that weekend of that show, enjoyed time with my family and friends, and hit the ground running again the Monday right after my show. We did a slight diet break for a few weeks, and honestly, my body responded so well to it. We bumped my carbs back up to 160. The lowest they got, I'll be completely honest with you guys, the lowest they got, which what I've heard from other girls that have prepped for a bikini show, honestly was not that low, but it is low, and I would not recommend this number for anyone that is just doing like lifestyle and not planning to get on a competition stage. The lowest my carbs got were 90, and those were definitely the days that I felt hungry, but you know, you learn to adjust and you learn to love your low carb foods, and I definitely did. But after my show, we bumped them back up to 160, kind of like where we saw my maintenance at for that time being. Obviously, that's not the maintenance that we want it to be at in improvement season, but because I had been dieting for so long, that's kind of where we saw my maintenance calories at. So we bumped it up to 160 carb, kept my fats a little bit lower at 40, and my protein was at 130, just because we learned through this process that my body digests protein very slow because of my thyroid issue, which I will get into in a little bit. But that's just what we learned. My body responded amazingly. I actually dropped down below stage weight on those diet break macros. We stuck to those diet break macros for probably like 5 weeks, and there were 8 weeks in between my first show and my second show. And I actually took over my training because I did have some injuries. My hip, got some stuff in my knee. My body's just tired, and it's telling me it needs a break. So Paul was like, you know your body, you know what you're doing. You do your training. If I see that I'm not seeing the development we need, because we really knew we needed to bring my glutes and my hamstrings up and get that tie-in showing for the NPC stage. That was really the only thing we really wanted to focus on, and leaning out my legs a little bit more. So he was like, if I'm not seeing the progress, then I'll step in and make sure you're doing certain things. But we just kept rolling. The transformation I saw on my glutes and my hamstrings between my first show and my second show, I'll put in a post right here or at the end of this video of that transformation. It was crazy. And guys, I was not lifting heavy. I was not going crazy because I was trying to avoid injury, because you're not going to be looking so fly gimping on your heels on stage. So I was being very careful. I was doing lots of accessory movements, lots of banded, lots of high rep, and just really focusing on feeling the contraction, taking the weight out of the equation and just really focusing on feeling that contraction and squeezing. And it worked, guys, because my hamstring tie-in and my glutes, they came up just how I wanted it. My legs leaned out. So my second show was July 15th. It was the Washington State Open. It was my first NPC show. It was awesome because I got to do it with 2 of my girlfriends. They competed in it as well. It was definitely a bigger show. It was a faster show. It was a different layout. The layout of the NGA show was started at 10. They went through, they took like an hour break, and then they went straight into finals. So I was done competing by like 7, I think it was. But then the NPC show was your typical layout where they did the morning show, and they literally flew through the morning show. It started at 10, and Bikini was off stage by 12:30. Like, it went way faster than we were expecting. And then the night show started at 5. So I had some time to go home, relax. They actually had me shower off my tan because my skin was already turning green. So I got to shower, which was nice. And then I got a whole new tan for the night show. So it went good. I took 3rd in my class. I got nationally qualified. That was my goal. The feedback I got was that I was a little too muscular for the regional level, but you want that muscle for the national level. And it's a little frustrating because it's like, well, I have to compete at this regional level to qualify for national level, so why are you looking for 2 different physiques? But again, it's all about the physiques that show up that day, because that's how they're going to judge you. And if you're so much more muscular than any of the other girls, then it's a little hard to judge you based on that if none of the other girls are that muscular. It's just a different physique type. So I was happy with getting qualified, got my sword. I was excited. My friend Shannon actually won the entire show. She freaking killed it. She looked amazing. Carly took 3rd in her class, so we all killed it. It was exciting. We enjoyed a little champagne backstage. And cheers to each other. I went out and enjoyed an awesome dinner. I had my first burger with a bun in probably like 4 years. Yes, 4 years, you guys. I was one of those crazy girls, always lettuce wrapped everything. But it was amazing. I enjoyed Sunday after my show, and then I went back on macros that Monday because I really am trying to take this reverse diet very seriously. And kind of backtracking a little bit, right before my first show, I always have had digestion issues and have just, my stomach never really feels the greatest all the time. And I was just kind of frustrated because I've always, like, I've been a pretty good eater. Like, I've always eaten relatively healthy and just always had problems. They really started when I was 16. I've taken like 5 ER trips just because my pain is so bad. I didn't know what it was, and every time I go, they're like, sorry if this is TMI, they're like, well, you just need to go to the bathroom. And I'm like, okay, well, this is getting expensive for them to just tell me that. So I just quit going and just kind of dealt with the pain. But when you're in prep, you just get so in tune with your body, and I was like, okay, it's not normal. Something's not right. Like, there were days where, like, my weight could fluctuate 5 pounds. And that's really frustrating. Like, yes, the scale is not your only judge of progress, but it's really frustrating when you have physique goals. You're trying to get on stage and you see your weight bump up a week before your show and you're like, what is happening? I mean, it always came back down, but I mean, it was definitely frustrating. So I was like, you know, something just is not right. And my regular doctor just really wasn't listening to me. She basically was like, here, just take Miralax every day and you'll be fine. So I sought out a naturopath, and I actually found a naturopath in my area that competes as well. Went and found her and met with her, and she is absolutely amazing. She listened to everything I had to say, and we talked about my family history, and she's like, well, have you ever had your thyroid tested? Because my dad has Hashimoto's. And I was like, nope, never had it tested. No one ever brought that up. And she was like, okay, well, that's where we're starting. We tested tons of other things too. We tested for like celiacs and things like that, but everything came back normal except for my thyroid. It basically was dysfunctional at that point. Yes, it downregulates when you're dieting, but she said that mine was probably already so low when I started that it just downregulated even more. Since then, we've started medication. We're still playing around with the dosage to see how much I need to get my thyroid functioning at a normal level. It's been a little bit difficult to figure out what that normal level is just because I have been dieting, so we've been very cognizant about that. Right now I'm taking 2 doses in the morning and 1 dose in the afternoon, and we have seen some positive results. My thyroid numbers have gone up, and it's actually my T3 that's low, not my T4. So that's kind of what we're dealing with now. So I have hypothyroidism. That is very difficult. It means my metabolism is very slow. So we have to be very careful. Like, literally after I eat, I can feel my stomach just like kind of like puff up. And then you give it a few hours and it puffs back down. So it's very frustrating, but at least I know what it is now. And the biggest frustration, I think, is if I go slightly off plan or take a free day, it takes me a few days to get my body back to regulation again. So we have to be really smart with this reverse diet, and that is what we are doing. So currently right now I am kind of back on those same diet break macros. I met with Paul the Monday after my show and just kind of like talked it out to see where we want to go from here, because I really want to take this improvement season seriously, but I also want to take it as the time to enjoy things that I am not able to fully take advantage of and enjoy during prep, because improvement season, not off season, there is no off season. Improvement season is the time to do that. So my original thought when we were talking was I was going to take these 2 weeks till the start of August to just kind of take these diet break macros, don't step on the scale, just take a mental break, hit my macros like 80 to 90% of the time, and then have that 20 to 10% to just kind of go out, enjoy myself, enjoy time with family and friends. And I was kind of thinking of taking 1 day a week to just kind of have a free day. So that's kind of what I've done the past 2 weeks. But the first week was the weekend right after my show. So I took Saturday night, I obviously went out with my family. And then Sunday after my show, I just like went out and enjoyed, like I had talked about. I went to Carly's food truck. I went out and had drinks on the patio and had like happy hour, and then had like a girls' night in and ate entirely too many chips and guac and made fajita tacos and had some wine, and then was back on, started hitting my macros on Monday, and then hit them all through the week. And then Friday, this past Friday, I had a bridal shower, and I still hit my macros, but I calculated in some wine so I could cheers to the bride. And then Saturday came, and that was the bachelorette party, and we did a barbecue for my mom's birthday. So hit legs in the morning. It was awesome, but I got home and I was like literally ravenous. I was starving. So I had a breakfast planned out in my Fitness Pal, and I'm not gonna lie, I did not eat that. I made like a protein mug cake, and I had told myself, you're just gonna have the protein mug cake, and then you're gonna eat your lunch with your family and you're barbecuing with your parents. But then they had like all the snacks out from the bridal party that I did not touch at the bridal shower. But then they were all out, and I was like, well, it's my free day. So I just started like kind of picking at what was on the counter. Kept picking. And then I was like, okay, I gotta stop. So I went upstairs, separated myself, and then my dad made carne asada, tacos, and shrimp ceviche and chips. And literally chips and dip are like my weakness. Actually, any snack food is my weakness. And I have definitely figured that out after Saturday. So I had a lot of that. I was so full, but not to the point where I was like, oh my God, I can't move. But I was definitely full. So then we got ready. We went to the bachelorette party, or started at the bachelorette party. We went to dinner at the Rock. And I made the decision that I was not going to eat because I was not hungry. And I knew we were having snacks at the house afterwards. Because we had packed so many leftovers from the bridal shower, because my mom hosted her bridal shower. And I knew that they were like making treats, and we were going to have that for just kind of like the hangout time. And we were all going to, the plan was to be drinking afterwards. So we kind of wanted to have, you know, when people drink, they need food. So I was like, okay, I don't need food here. I'm still full, so I'm going to wait. Well, that was kind of a mistake, because by the time I got home, or by the time I got back to her house, I was literally starving. So I was like eating as I was setting snacks out. And I kept eating. And they were like drinking in the background. I was like, hey guys, you can just find me at the snack table. And yeah, so I literally went home and I was in pain. Like, in pain. So, and I should know that my body, when I just fill it up, my body doesn't digest. It doesn't start digesting for a while. It's got to get that signal like, hey, you're eating, time to digest. So things just build up. And my stomach will get like literally rock hard. Wish those were abs that were rock hard, but it's just literally food just sitting in my stomach. So it's not a fun feeling. I went to bed literally in pain. So not good. And I woke up the next morning and I was literally like, Mom, I think I have a food hangover. Not a wine hangover, because I came home with a fully sealed bottle of wine because it could not fit anything else in my stomach. I didn't even want to drink water. So that happened, and I woke up Sunday and I was like, okay, well, that was a learning experience. Time to reevaluate this plan. So that was kind of a long explanation, but I kind of am going in with a new mindset, because I am still trying to work off that water weight from Saturday. Like, literally, my stomach is just like full. Not a good look. I mean, I know it's water weight, and I think because of my thyroid issue, it is taking longer, and my body could just be freaking out. So I'm excited to go to my doctor next week and just kind of talk to her about like how I need to approach this off season. And she may change my plan a little bit too, just because I don't know the functionality and like how it's going to best respond to this increase in food. So this is kind of my thought. Instead of taking a full free day, I'm just going to do a free meal. I need to just eat like I normally would during the day, and then stick to that one meal. Avoid snacking. I did 8 months without snacking. I did 8 months of going to parties without hitting the snack table. I can keep doing that. So that is my plan. Still going to take that one day to kind of like plan around events that happen, but just be more cognizant about what I'm eating. Don't go into parties ravenous. Don't be starving. Eat before I go if I need to. Just be smart about it. So that was a learning opportunity. We all have them. Take them as a learning opportunity. Can't change the past, so don't dwell on it. I'm just going to move forward and just keep a clear mind and just keep learning. This is obviously my first time going through it, so it's going to be a learning experience as far as how my body responds and how my mind responds. So we're just going to take it day by day. My first check-in with Paul is going to be on Friday, so that will be my first weigh-in. So I'm a little nervous to see how that goes, but I just got to remember that the goal is to I need to put on weight. Like, my body got down to a point where I have never been before, so, but I just want to be smart and make sure that we're doing what's best for my body and how it's functioning, and we're taking the right approaches. So I'm excited to meet with my doctor and then pass that information on to Paul. The macros I'm sitting at right now are 160 carb, 130 protein, just like that other diet break, but we did bump my fats up to 55 because we do need those healthy fats for hormone regulation. So that's kind of where we're sitting. My plans for improvement season are we're really going to hit training hard starting in August. Paul's going to take back over my training. Hopefully my injuries will be subsided by then. Still kind of dealing with my knee and hip, but I feel like those are always going to be some problem areas just because my hips have always been super tight, and that goes down into my knee. But going to be cognizant of that, but going to focus on getting strong again, building up my glutes, keeping my delts big and strong and full, and just go from there. Our plan is to do a few warm-up shows. I think my initial plan, this is what I'm thinking, is to do junior nationals in Chicago, and then hopefully either do nationals in Vegas or Miami, because Paul is in Florida, so it would be awesome to go down there and just get to know people in his area and compete down in Miami and have him there. So that's kind of my thoughts right now. We have thought about doing another NGA show for a warm-up show and then one NPC show again. So still playing around with specifics, but that is my plan. So we will probably do improvement season until like next winter-ish, and then start prepping, because Paul and I do like to do, especially with my body, we do like to do longer preps. So that is my plan. This is the end of my first bikini series. I am going to do an improvement series. Still playing around with the names, so if you guys have any cool names for it, please let me know. I'm thinking the best is yet to come, because that's kind of my hashtag. But if you guys have any other ideas, please comment down below, let me know, and then I will let you know what I decide. There are lots of exciting things coming. I've got a few announcements for you guys, and I'm excited to just get back in the gym, get strong. I'll make sure, haven't ate this morning. Make sure I'm sharing everything with you guys, my mental struggles, kind of how I'm doing with this approach to improvement season, if that changes after I talk to my doctor. So I hope you guys are ready to see a little more balance and me going out and having a little more fun, but still staying strong, hitting the gym, hitting my cardio, and keeping those macros on point, and bring on the food, and I'm excited. So comment down below if you guys have any questions. Thank you all for continuing on with me in this journey. It has been an amazing learning experience, and like I said, I'm just getting started, and I know the best is yet to come. So I'll see you guys in the next video.